In a surprising turn of events, the sponsorship station aims to reveal a strategy that can potentially save your company a substantial amount of money to gain a competitive advantage over China. The Senate recently passed a $280 billion bill dedicated to funding American chip manufacturing. The primary objective of this legislation is to uphold a global advantage, with a significant portion of the funds allocated to scientific research, further advancing U.S. technology. This bill is anticipated to be successfully passed by the House, marking it as one of Congress's most noteworthy achievements in history. Now, let's delve into an intriguing situation that requires careful consideration and your insights in the comments section. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi unexpectedly delayed the chip manufacturing bill for 7 months. Subsequently, it came to light that her husband, Paul Pelosi, discreetly invested millions of dollars in NVIDIA stock. This sequence of events conveniently aligned with the impending vote that was known in advance. However, just before the Senate's vote occurred last night, the Pelosi's instructed the sale of 25,000 shares of NVIDIA stock, resulting in a loss of $341,000 minutes before the market closed. Adding to the intrigue, Nancy Pelosi has now embarked on a trip to Taiwan, which happens to be the global hub for chip manufacturing. This series of events begs the question: what could be the underlying motive behind these actions? Why would the Pelosi's invest significant sums of money in stock, only to sell it at a considerable loss, when there was a chance for substantial profits within a brief period? Could this entire situation have been orchestrated as a diversion, deliberately causing financial losses due to heightened scrutiny? We eagerly await your insights and analysis regarding this perplexing situation. I would appreciate your thoughts and insights on this matter. I feel it is important to inform you, especially if any members of my community have invested in the NVIDIA chip stock company. Despite recent events, it remains a strong and promising company, as it has once again experienced an 8% increase in value. It is puzzling why some individuals would choose to sell their shares at a loss of $340,000. Perhaps some people have the luxury of disposable funds, but it doesn't diminish the fact that NVIDIA is still a highly regarded stock. I wanted to bring this to your attention because a significant and enigmatic story is currently unfolding. And now, the narrative becomes even more unsettling. Brace yourself for this alarming information. The billionaires who assemble at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, a gathering exclusively for invited attendees, are attempting to exert influence over global affairs and governments. Their latest pronouncement is nothing short of terrifying. They assert that the only way to combat climate change and save the planet is for governments worldwide to seize control of private property and automobiles. They advocate for the complete eradication of car ownership as we know it. Please share your thoughts and opinions on this matter, as it is a pressing and worrisome development. Furthermore, these billionaires are now advocating for the establishment of a global rideshare program, wherein governments would essentially dictate individuals' mobility and control various aspects of their lives, such as commuting, work, leisure, and even vacation opportunities. The ultimate goal appears to be to strip people of ownership, leaving them with nothing but contentment. The question arises, why are these billionaires clandestinely urging government leaders worldwide to forbid car ownership and devise plans to confiscate private property, thereby eroding personal autonomy and freedom? These developments are undeniably unsettling. Moving on to other news, after undergoing a 5-day quarantine period, President Joe Biden has tested negative for COVID-19 twice. Doctors have confirmed that his symptoms were very mild, and he has successfully overcome the virus. Reflecting on his experience, Biden noted that his predecessor, Trump, had to be transported by helicopter to Walter Reed Medical Center when he contracted COVID-19 and faced severe illness. Fortunately, Trump recovered. Biden contrasted this with his own case, where he continued working from the upstairs of the White House. Although the vaccine appears to have aided Biden in avoiding severe symptoms, some argue that he may have contracted a less aggressive form of the virus. Scientists point out that the Omicron variant is approximately 90% less deadly than the Delta variant. This exchange between the two presidents has become a topic of contention in the media. Now, before we proceed with more news, let's take a moment to acknowledge today's video sponsor. Many of you have already contributed to your company's cost savings in shipping by utilizing ShipStation. In today's thriving economy, online shopping continues to thrive, despite high shipping and gas prices. However, the current circumstances have compelled numerous businesses to adopt innovative approaches in order to cut costs. Presently, companies nationwide are actively seeking methods to reduce expenses. In a recent report by the Washington Post, it was stated that the Biden administration is attempting to introduce legislation that would mandate medical insurance providers to cover abortion procedures and gender reassignment surgeries for children. The Secretary of Human Health Services under President Biden claims that this is the most effective means of safeguarding LGBTQ rights. However, many insurance companies have expressed their intention to challenge this proposal in court, citing potential significant increases in insurance premiums for all policyholders. This scenario is reminiscent of last year when the government initially provided a substantial cost of living adjustment, but subsequently revoked it due to an increase in Medicaid costs, caused by a new Alzheimer's medication that costs $50,000 per year. As a result, individuals experience premium hikes for a medical intervention that only a small portion of the population would actually benefit from. Following the initial set of hearings regarding the events of January 6th, some individuals argued that there was no definitive evidence, often referred to as a smoking gun, directly implicating former President Donald Trump. However, there is a recent narrative in the media suggesting otherwise. As of last night, federal prosecutors have reportedly been questioning witnesses, including aides to former Vice President Mike Pence, in front of a grand jury. Some of the questions revolved around former President Trump and the actions he did or did not take, leading prosecutors to believe that there might be grounds for prosecution. One of the arguments that has emerged is Trump's claim that he authorized 10,000 National Guard troops to be sent to Washington, D.C., to assist the Capitol Police through the Pentagon. However, former Defense Secretary Christopher Miller contradicted this statement, stating that Trump never issued such an order. Miller explained, "Obviously, we had plans for activating more folks, but that was not anything more than a contingency plan. There was no official message traffic or anything of that nature." So, the question arises, who is telling the truth? Did Trump actually order those troops? Or is this a fabrication? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. According to Trump's former Secretary of Defense, Kash Patel, Trump did not possess the authority to directly order the National Guard. He could only authorize their use to the Capitol Police and the Pentagon. Patel claimed to have been involved in the authorization process. Is this a matter of semantics, with the distinction between ordered and authorized? Or is it yet another witch hunt against Trump? Or perhaps even a falsehood on his part? Only time will provide the answers. However, Joy Behar, the host of The View, known for her strong aversion towards Donald Trump, commented after watching the January 6th hearing, stating that she saw no smoking gun. While she admitted that the proceedings made Trump appear foolish, she asserted that they did not prove collusion or that he directly orchestrated the attack on the Capitol. Behar expressed doubt regarding the Department of Justice's willingness to prosecute him unless concrete evidence miraculously surfaced. Today, the articles I am reading indicate that the Department of Justice is secretly investigating Donald Trump to determine if he had direct ties to the groups that stormed the Capitol. The FBI had already conducted an investigation, arresting over 800 individuals, and found no direct connection. However, the Department of Justice now wishes to pursue Trump's potential involvement discreetly, understanding that it could further divide the nation. According to the articles I have read, the Department of Justice recently seized cell phones belonging to several high-ranking White House officials. Additionally, the Federal Reserve Bank has just announced another 75 basis point increase in interest rates today. aiming to combat rampant inflation. When the Fed raises